really close. What do you think you've learned about your team and your offense through fall camp?
I think we built a lot of depth, and that's one thing that we were focusing on, coming into camp was, getting some of the young guys, rolling and making sure they learned the offense, that they got caught up to speed so that they were able to play. So I think we did a good job of that, and we don't really know who we are yet, I think, because we kind of got to still figure that out a little bit, but I feel good about our group.
Is that something that you think comes once the season starts, or is that something you think you can figure out in the next week and a half, what you are?
Yeah, we always know who we want to be, but as far as, the pieces of the puzzle, who's going to be out there and all those different things, I still think there's some questions to be answered there. But, like I said, I feel good about the guys that we have. I think we're pretty deep at a lot of positions, so, we should be ready to go by Troy.
With the offense, you've talked about it before too with yourself. The offense as a whole, how can you guys get off to a better start than they did last year, and why are you confident maybe that you can do that?
Just with our preparation, practice habits, I think that's something that definitely improved, over camp, and like I said, making sure the young guys, they know how to practice. They're building the right habits. They're making sure they're getting in the playbook and understanding the concepts so they can go out there and play without thinking a whole lot. And I think they did a good job of that. And our older guys have been great as well, being leaders.
You mentioned some of the young guys. What's impressed you about Khalil Shakir so far?
Yeah, he's been great. Smart kid, very athletic. We've thrown a lot of different things at him throughout fall camp, and he's taken it on like a champ, and done a really good job for us. So he's going to be a great player.
Back to last year, you talked about what the team has done. Dave's question in terms of getting off to a better, more consistent start. What about you personally? Have you thought about that? Have you done anything differently to try to make sure you're more consistent to meet your standards?
Yeah, I'm just practicing hard every single day. Trying to make sure I go out there with intention and focus to get better, and try to bring something different to the table every single day. A different goal for myself that I can work on, so I'm not making the same mistakes twice. And that's really all it comes down to.
How do you feel differently this year than you did last year at this time?
I think I just feel more comfortable. We got pretty much our whole offensive line coming back. I've been working with the receivers a lot. The tight ends have been doing a good job as well. So, but like I said, I think the biggest difference is just making sure that we're staying focused and keeping good practice habits, so that when we get out into a game, it's more of a calm confidence instead of you're going out there and you feel like you're maybe unprepared a little bit.
What do you remember about last year's game against Troy?
They're a really good defense. Great up front. A lot of speed in the back end. They, discipline. They do a great job.
Anything? Obviously, that play that Des Williams made, kind of stands out to kind of save the touchdown, maybe save the game there. Is there any? I know maybe it wasn't obviously the game that you'd hope for, but is there anything else that stands out, just plays or moments that stand out to you about that one?
Not really. I haven't really. I've watched the tape, obviously preparing for the game, but other than that, I haven't really thought about the game too much. It's going to be. A whole different story this year. We've changed a lot over the course of the year, and they've changed a lot over the course of the year. And it's going to be at their place, different environment. So, it'll be a completely different game than last year.
Obviously, they gave everything you wanted last year, and then they only lose one more game the rest of the season, and they beat LSU. Like you said, having to go to their place. And what kind of challenge is this for you guys opening up?
It's a big challenge. They're, like I said, they're a great program. Defensively. Is what I focus on more, but they've done a really good job there the past few years. They got a lot of returning starters back there as well, so it's going to be a challenge for us, but I think we've prepared well.
Is there a difference between starting at home and starting on the road for you?
Not a whole lot. The only difference I'd say is probably just the routine of we're waking up at the same spot every single time you're at home, and you're just in a different environment, but noise, I guess, as well. There's definitely some differences, but nothing that you can't handle.
How are you adjusting now that school started, and obviously you're going to be starting up season? How are you adjusting now, throwing class into the mix with practices and preparing for your first game?
Yeah, you just have to make sure that you're staying on top of your time management, and I think that's something I've learned over the past 4 years is make sure that I'm getting my classwork done and all that, so I have time to spend here and watch a lot of film you know, make sure I'm preparing myself the best that I can.